What's going on, guys? It's Mark over at the String Shark, and today I'll be showing you how to string the top string of a lacrosse head. Here's what you're gonna need: a lacrosse head of your choice, mesh, a string for the top string. The first thing you're gonna do is stretch your mesh. Next step is to tie our knot. So we're gonna do a double overhand knot, where you take the string over your finger once, twice, and then you bring the string over and you grab it with your thumb, and it should look like this. Then you're gonna pull it off your fingers, and you should have a nice loop right here. And you're gonna take that string that you grabbed with your thumb and slide right through. You're gonna go ahead and pull that tight. Let's do that again. So you're gonna take your string, go over your pointer finger once, twice, and then over. You can grab this with your thumb, over, and then you're gonna push that through those two loops you just created. Slide your finger out and pull tight. Should look like this. Now when we look at our mesh, we're gonna notice that one side has 9 diamonds across the top and one side has 10 diamonds across the top. So for this, we're gonna go with the 9 diamond row, and you're gonna take that row and you're gonna fold it over to match up with the other 9 diamond row. So it looks something like this. Now to start, we're gonna work from the back of the head. I'm gonna take my string and go through the hole of the first sidewall hole and pull that all the way through. We're gonna take our mesh and go through the first diamond of that 9 diamond row we just folded over. Pull that all the way through. Now back through the plastic. Now we're gonna go through the front of the mesh of the same diamond. Pull that tight and create a nice little loop. So we're gonna go through the same hole of the plastic, pull that through, and then back through the front of the mesh one more time. Just pull this nice and tight. This is what it should look like. Going forward, we're gonna take our string and go through the back of the next diamond, pull that through, and leave a little slack so you create this loop. And then we're gonna go through the front of the plastic on the top of the scoop, down through that loop we just created, and pull that tight. Now we're gonna go through the back of the plastic, pulling that through, but leaving some slack again. Now we're gonna go through the front of the mesh of the same diamond and through that loop and pull through. And as you can see, it bunches the mesh up a little bit and keeps the diamond perfectly centered, and that's how you know you did it right. So we're gonna skip a diamond and go through the front of the mesh. Pull that through, leaving that little loop. Skipping this hole, we're gonna go to this one. So through the front of the plastic and down through that loop. Pull that through, pull that nice and tight. Now we're gonna go through the back of the plastic, leaving some slack, nice loop, through the front of the mesh and through that loop. Pulling that nice and tight. So here we have it. This is what it should look like. It looks like in the front. We're gonna skip the next diamond and go through the one after that. Pull that through, leaving that little bit of slack. Now we're gonna go through the front of the plastic and down through that loop. Pull that tight. Using my finger here, so I have my pointer finger through one of the diamonds, and I'm using the head as leverage to pull this nice and tight. And from there, you can see that allows the diamond to be a little bit more centered as I lock this in. Now we're gonna go through the back of the plastic, leaving that slack, through the front of the mesh, through that loop. And I like to do this where right before I pull this nice and tight, I'll grab the inside of the loop and lock in that airlock we just did, and hold this in with my thumb to pull that nice and tight. So as you can see, this keeps the mesh nice and tight and even all the way across. The middle diamond is perfectly centered. One more to go. I'm gonna use my pointer finger to really stretch that mesh out. We're gonna skip a diamond, going through the back of the mesh, pulling that through. Now I'm using my left hand to pull the mesh while my right hand pulls the string through. Now we're gonna go through the front of the plastic, down through that loop again, pulling it tight, and then I'm gonna use my pointer finger to pull this nice and tight so the mesh is even, and really lock that in. Then we're gonna go through the back of the plastic, leaving that loop, through the front of the mesh, through that loop. Again, using my pointer finger to keep this nice and tight. So we're gonna skip the next diamond and go through the back of the mesh, leaving that small loop, then through the front of the plastic and down through that loop, pulling it nice and tight. Now I'm gonna use my pointer finger on my right hand to pull the mesh this way before I lock in this. Then we're gonna take our string through the back of the plastic, leaving that loop, and through the front of the mesh, through that loop, pulling that nice and tight. So here we have all 4 top string holes locked in. Now I'm going to show you how to tie off the top string. You got to make sure that we're even and we're going through the same hole as we did on this side. So I went through the first sidewall hole on this side, so we need to make sure that we go through the first sidewall hole on this side. Now to start, we're going to go through the next diamond, through the back of the mesh, pull that through, and then through the inside of the plastic of the first hole, pull that through. Now back through that same diamond of mesh, and then back through the inside of the plastic of the first hole. And you can pull that nice and tight, and then you're gonna go back through the back of the mesh one more time, and back through the inside of the plastic of the first hole, and pull that tight. Now it should look like this, just like the other side. Now I'm gonna show you how to tie it off. We're gonna do the same thing as the other side and go around my pointer finger once, twice, and slip my finger out. So now we have this double loop. Grab both loops with your right hand, and with your left hand, take the string and go through the loops. And you're gonna pass the tension through the string and then pull that nice and tight. So it should look like this. You want to make sure that everything is even across the top. This is what it should look like when you're all finished. I'll mark over the string chart, and that is how to string a basic top string on a lacrosse head. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, and be ready for the next video. Peace out.